I am now recording.
Great, thank you. All right, cool. Okay, is everybody doing good? Everybody got their 2 things they wrote down for these categories? Good, nobody needs more time? Great. All right, well, congratulations. You guys just did something that most of the world never does in their entire life, and you took the time to write down 2 things that you want in your life. You wrote down a goal. Most people don't do that. And did you know that you're 56% more likely to achieve a goal if you write it down? Even if you take this piece of paper home and just throw it in a drawer, you're more likely to hit your goal. So congratulations, you guys are off to a great start here. Okay, so now that we got the ball rolling a little bit about what we want in life, getting clear on it, it's time for us to start talking about a success principle that's, I think, one of the most important ones. And that's going to be taking 100% responsibility for your life and your results. Now, as we saw earlier, most successful high achievers know what they want, why they want it, and they take the responsibility to go get it. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So taking 100% responsibility means that you give up blaming, you give up complaining, and you give up making excuses for why you don't have what you don't have in your life. Basically, it's time to drop out of the Ain't It Awful Club. Now, we all know what that club is. We've all been a part of it. You're talking to your buddy, you go to a bar, you're drinking with a friend, and all you do is you bitch and you complain about what's wrong in your life. And I'm telling you right now, you got to stop that. That doesn't serve you good, and being part of that club keeps you stuck where you are. So when we do complain, when we do blame, when we do make excuses, that makes us the victim. And what that's saying is that there is somebody or something else that has control over our life. And that helps feed into why you feel helpless, why you feel stuck, why you feel trapped. So we got to stop feeling that way. And I'm telling you right now, that is not the way it is. As I was telling you in my sales career, I kind of got stuck in this position myself. It was important to my family that I got a degree. My dad's life was a lot better because he got a degree, and they thought just if he had that piece of paper, things would just work out for you. So I kind of assumed just by graduating college, I was going to get this job with a great company. I'd have this great manager who'd take me by the hand, show me and teach me everything I needed to know. I'd become some rock star employee, make a lot of money, have the house I wanted, and be happy. As most of you guys know, that is not the way it happens. So that's why I kind of got stuck, because I thought somebody else was going to take the responsibility for my success. And that's probably why I got stuck in my own life. So don't let that happen to you. The best thing you can do is take the responsibility for yourself. Now listen, if you take one thing away from my training today, one thing at all, I want you to know that we create our entire lives, our career, our finances, our relationships, and even the quality of our health based on the thoughts and feelings we have about them. It's our responsibility to choose that. So make sure you're making a conscious, inspired choice what you think about. And remember, the how in life will start showing up because now we're starting to clear on what we want. Now, they say knowledge is power. So I believe our choice is a superpower. If we really are creating our entire life, make an inspired choice to choose the things that you want to accomplish and create. Now, there is a simple formula I'm going to share with you here that's going to help you embrace and accept the idea of 100% responsibility. And that is E plus R equals L. Basically, events plus your response equals the outcome you're having in your life. So if you're not getting the outcomes in life you want, you basically have 2 choices here. You can blame the event. It's the government, it's Trump, it's the new administration, maybe it's gas prices, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's your wife. The problem is if we blame the event, and the event was the only thing that made a difference in the outcomes, nobody would be successful. Nobody would be happy. Your second choice is you change your response until you get the outcomes you want. So for example, let's say you're driving home after this and somebody cut you off. And your initial response is you're flipping them off and you're yelling these curse words and you get all angry and you step on the gas and you want to go around them and cut them off again. Just like that simple event became a horrible outcome because you got all negative. What if they cut you off and you kind of hit the brakes and you're like, whoa, Wonder what's wrong with that guy. He's having a bad day. I'm glad I'm not that rushed. And you play some music and you're in a better mood and you just move on. The event's the same, but the outcome now is very different. You can change your conditioned responses and make an inspired choice so you can have the outcomes you want. So let me give you an example of this. I'm going to need to, let me see, Chris, you don't look like you have your mute on there. Chris, if I walked up to you and I said, you know, Chris, I've lived in a couple states, I've worked a lot of sales jobs, I've met a lot of people, and you are by far the biggest idiot I have ever met in my life. Now, does anybody here think if I said that to Chris that that might raise his self-esteem? Nobody. Does anybody here think if I said that to Chris that it might lower his self-esteem? Brian shaking his head. Well, Brian, I want to let you know that you just failed the first pop quiz and taking responsibility. It's not what I say to Chris, Brian, that makes the difference. It's what Chris says to Chris after I stop talking. For example, Chris doesn't have his mute on. He's probably thinking, I could probably help Matt out. I know I got some smart ideas. Everything's good. He's probably picking on me because he thinks I'm his friend. He probably thinks I'm cute. I look good in this little box on the window here. And he just picked me and everything. And so, yes, if that was Chris's thought process, he's going to have a positive outcome. But what if Chris said, oh my God, Matt really thinks I'm an idiot? All this time he's been talking to me and he thinks and he said it in front of Brian? Oh my God, and this is recorded. All of a sudden, Chris is going to have a bad outcome. The event stayed the same though. So you got to remember, it's not what happens, it's what meaning you apply to the outcome. So Chris, I appreciate your volunteering here, unintentionally, but what if I said to you, Chris, you have green hair? Would that upset you?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have hair.
What if I said, that's a great point, Chris. What if I said you had a green mustache? Would that upset you?
You need some new glasses, dude.
That's right. Well, why would that not upset you?
Because I don't have it's not true.
That's right. Did you hear what he said? He knows that he doesn't have a green mustache. He knows it. So if somebody says something to you and it upsets you, it gets you angry, it makes you want to fight, it makes your blood boil, that's actually a time for you to reflect on what you're saying to yourself. Because no matter what they say, it doesn't matter, because if you don't have green mustache, why would it upset you? If I called Chris a mean, selfish person, and he knows that he's a generous, sweet guy, he's going to be like, what is he talking about? Matt doesn't know me, I guess. He's going to brush it off. So if it makes you upset, that is a time in your life that you need to do a little self-evaluation on that. Is that making sense so far? Does anybody understand that it's not the event? It's more great. Let me ask you a question. Has anybody here ever had a really good kiss in their life? They had a kiss maybe when they were young or in high school or something, and you remember it made an impact on you. Has anybody had an experience like that? Does anybody here think it was the kiss that made the difference? No, it's not the kiss. It's the meaning you applied to the kiss. It was my first kiss. It was my first kiss with my new girlfriend. It was my kiss at my wedding. If a kiss made that big of a difference, kissing your dog would give you the same response, but it doesn't. So you got to remember, you're applying meaning to the events you have in your life. So don't kiss your dog because it's not going to be as good as the other kisses you've had. So,
and you might get arrested.
Yeah, definitely don't make a video about it either. So I tell you what, there's only 3 things in life you do have your control of, and that is your behavior, your thoughts, your self-talk, and your beliefs, and your visual imagery. So, and I put in visual imagery, that's also things that you think about for the future. So if you're always having those negative thoughts, if you're in that ain't it awful club and you're always like, it's never going to happen for me, it's never going to happen for you. Your thoughts are leading you down the path of nothing's going to happen. And like I said, I was stuck in that place too, that I'll never get out of my sales job. I'll never find something new. And everything changed when I stopped doing that. So make sure you control what you can, because you can't control what other people do in life. Now, I'd like to do a quick demonstration to show you guys the power of our thoughts and also how it has control over our physical bodies. And it's called muscle testing. And muscle testing came from kinesiology, which is used in some medical professions just for diagnostic purposes. So I'm going to need a volunteer out of the audience real quick. I don't know if one of you can fly to Albuquerque real fast or you got a teleporter, but great, Matt, you'll do it. That sounds good. So what we're going to do with muscle testing is we're just going to determine how your thoughts are affecting your body. So basically, Matt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder here and I'm going to stick your arm out here. And all I want to do is I'm going to try to lower your arm and you're going to try to resist me. Now, you're not going to try to throw me into the ceiling and knock me around or push me around. Just try to resist. Nice and easy, okay? Okay, Matt, say out loud, what is your name? Say, my name is Matt. My name is Matt. Say, my name is Matt. My name is Matt. Now resist. Good. Look how strong that was. Now, this time, Matt, I want you to say, my name is Barbara. My name is Barbara. My name is Barbara. Oh, it's a little weaker that time. You can relax for a second, Matt. Now, what you guys just saw is when you tell the truth, your bodies are physically stronger than when you lie. So it's important what you're saying. It's important what you're doing. It's important for you to have your integrity. Now, let's do another one real quick. This time, I want you to take a second. I want you to close your eyes, Matt, and think back to a time in your life where you had a failure. Something didn't go right. Maybe you didn't get the job. Maybe you missed a shot when you were a kid. You don't have to share it with the audience. Just think about it in your mind and nod when you have it. All right, Matt, you got it? Okay, good. Now think about that time. Put your arm out. I want you to resist me, but think about that failure. Think about that time. How did it make you feel? How is everything about that situation? There you go. You can see your arms folding a little bit there. All right, well, relax your arm for a second, Matt. Okay, did you have breakfast this morning? Okay, good, just making sure. Now, I want you to think back into your life when you had a success, something that went right. Maybe it was that first kiss with the dog, I don't know. Whatever made you feel good, I want you to think of something right now. Okay, you got it, good. Put your arm up. Now think about that success. Think about everything that went right. How are you feeling? I want you to resist. How did that feel? Oh, that's good. That's a little stronger. All right, Matt, you can relax a second. Now, everybody, what you just saw, whatever you're thinking about, if you're focusing on failures, if you're focusing on things that never went right in your life, you're physically weaker with that too. It's hard to move on when your body's low and you got no energy because all you're focused on the negative. You can see that you're stronger, you're taller, you're prouder when you're thinking about your successes. Now, we're going to do one more real quick. Now, Matt, just put your arm out and resist, and I want you to look at Chris and Brian. Now, Chris and Brian, you don't have to say anything out loud. Just look at Matt, and I want you to send him a bad vibe. Just say, I hate you, or whatever. Don't say it out loud, but just think it. And Matt, I want you to look at them and look. All right, well, oh, that arm's pretty brutal. Now, you guys relax. Relax. You guys are very mean. That was a little too much. Now, wipe that out. Now, one more time, Matt, put your arm out. Chris and Brian, I want you to look at Matt, and I'll think a loving thought. You can say, I love you. I wish you success. Something generic, but think something small. Think something nice. All right, you ready? Oh, good. Nice and strong. Thanks for your time, Matt. I appreciate it. You can relax and have a seat. You might have been the best volunteer I've ever had because it was me. Now, Chris, Brian, what you guys just witnessed, who you hang out with makes a difference in your life too. If your guys are giving you bad thoughts, if they're giving you negative thoughts, if they're poo-pooing your ideas, it's going to bring you down. So make sure you're choosing the people in your life that build you up, send you positive thoughts, and make you a stronger person. Finally now, what we're going to do to kind of end on the 100% responsibilities, we're going to do 5% more exercise. You all wrote 2 things down of what you want in life out of the 7 categories. Now, under each of those 2 things, I just want you to write down 1, 2, 3 things if you completed this sentence. If I were going to take 5% more responsibility for my goal, I would what? What would you do? So if it was, getting back in shape and you said, I want to be 155, maybe you're going to drink more water. Maybe you're going to walk after dinner. Maybe you're going to, you're going to add 1 more day to the gym. If your goal was to go to the beach, maybe you're going to save some money. Maybe you're going to start talking to friends and start planning it. So if you just took 5% more responsibility, just a little bit, for each one of the things you want in your life, what would you do? So go ahead now, let's take a minute, maybe 2 minutes, write down 2, 3, 4 things, whatever comes to mind for each of those beliefs. And if you have any questions, let me know, but let's do that real quick, okay?
Nice.
That was right on the money, man.
That was right on the money. All right. Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
Great energy. I really did. There was a number of phrases that I liked. Most successful high achievers. That phraseology really resonated with me. I really liked that one. If you have one takeaway, I like to use that a lot. I'm like, if you walk out of here with only one thing, this thing could change your life. I really like that one takeaway point.
Okay.
I use very often, and I think it was kind of good to hear it. I liked, it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility for myself. It's your responsibility. I think you could have done a little bit more with that. Like, it's our responsibility, right? I forget what the phraseology used right there, but say, what I mean by that is I'm responsible for what I'm experiencing. You're responsible for what you're experiencing. So you can almost take just 2 extra beats on that, I think, maybe, and hit it. But I really
You mean after the when I said you can take one thing away from this? Is that what you're referring to? Okay.
Yeah, one takeaway. You said it's our responsibility, but to make it hit a little harder. So I want you to understand, it's my responsibility. My success is dependent on me. Your success is dependent on you. The choices, the things that you're doing. Like, I think there's just a slight tweak in your phraseology that could even hit it harder. But I really like that your responsibility piece.
Okay.
I think another point that you might have been able to hit a little harder was our choice is a superpower. Like, I would have loved to hear you do a voice like, hello, what's your power? I have the power to choose. Like, something like that could have been really fun. I love that phraseology. Like, our choice is our superpower. But I could say maybe even play with that a little bit more. All right.
Okay.
I thought story was good. I thought you did a good example on the green hair. I would choose one. I would just choose one of those, either the green hair or, I'm not, I don't know.
Or the biggest idiot.
I would that a little bit because I think your kiss story was better. Do you know what I mean? Like, on those ones. And I like that you ended on a positive note. So I think you could do the example, make those ones a little bit tighter. You know what I mean? Like, do the green hair one, the other one tighter, and then get to the kiss dog one, because I think you could play with that one a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You'd be like, because if you have the same reaction, do you have the same reaction when you kiss your dog? Wait a second, I don't know if I want to know that's the truth. But I mean, I think you could play with that a little bit. Like, most people don't remember their first kiss and go, yes, it was with my dog. It was fantastic. Like, I mean, you can play with that one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll play with on stage. So, but I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Does it count if that was my favorite? like, love your pets, just don't love your pets. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome.
And then I thought you improvised the piece, not having someone actually do the one. The things that I think that could have worked a little better for me were, you've got to stop. I think there's a better phraseology there. Like, remember, it's about empowerment. You're talking about choice. Nobody has to stop, right?
Okay.
So I want you to be consistent with the phraseology and say, look, I'm going to encourage you to make a different choice, right? If you're I'm going to encourage you to make a different choice, because this is about taking responsibility. So gotta stop, I don't think fits well within it. So I think that was it for me. That was kind of, I thought you did well. Now, were you reading a little bit? Were you looking at your notes?
Yeah, I had them here.
Okay. I don't think you need to look at your notes, man. All right. I really don't. They're an absolute reference point. I think you've got this kind of thing nailed, because it when you looked at your notes a little bit, I felt a little disconnect, right? Okay. I like when you talk directly to me, like the kiss example, that kind of thing. So that's just me, but I think that might just be from practice. Like, like I think you've already got this piece down. So that's mine. I'll shut up and let Mr.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Chris.
Is it my turn? Matthew, it was great. I loved your enthusiasm. Also I love your interaction with us, even like you're talking to a bigger crowd, you know, and had other people involved with it that, you know, so I thought that was great. What would have worked better for me is usually the next question. I'm going to go a little bit different way with this question. If I was giving one piece of advice about this part, what I would recommend is watching that module on the Train the Trainer online.
Okay.
Before you do it. And I'm not saying you did anything wrong. It's just some of the language that you've used. I do it too. I do the same thing as I put too much my language into it, and then I would like to phrase it just a little bit better. And I need to do this too. I need to watch that module before I do it. Just to listen to Jack and what he says and how he says it. It's very, obviously, it's very refined after so many years. And I had some comments about some of the things that I had said on Tuesday of things, which would have helped if it was a little more just the phrasing of things. So that's what I'd recommend.
Thank you. Is that it? The beatings are over?
Well, we can beat you later if you want.
No, thank you guys. That's good stuff. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I think the phraseology is key, so that was a good point, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to use those. I appreciate that.
Yep. But you're right there, man. I mean, this is going to work well for the schools and for whatever you want to do. I mean, truly, I like the extra examples you're bringing. All right. If you want to, you get to switch roles. You get to be the timer.
Are you? I will time. We're doing 5 minutes. Flashlights on.
Okay.
5 minutes, you said?
5 minutes, and I assume you have your book in front of you, so pick a principle. I'll go first.
I do. Okay.
So here on this one, again, I just want to rephrase everything. We're going to stick to the simple point, story, application, right? Did we connect? Did we make, was our point and our story good? So we'll kind of, it's kind of on the fly picking the one out. All right, so what are you picking for me, brother?
First one that pops out, man, is number 10, release the brakes.
All right. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I've got a really kind of important principle I'd like to talk to you about today, and it's called releasing the brakes. And I'll kind of unpack that for you a little bit. It's kind of looking at what's limiting you. What are your limiting factors? So if you think about, like, you're driving a car, right? If you were driving a car and you realize that the emergency brake on, would you press on the gas to go faster, or would you go, maybe I should release the emergency brake? So that's kind of the metaphor here, is what are the things that are limiting you? And I have to tell you, this is a really weird one to share. So we've had kind of a goal for our family financially. And I've had a goal of, and I thought it was a big goal, was $5 million, because I had done the math. I'm a nerd, so I'm like, okay, I'd done the math that if I earned that at 5%, that would be my current salary, and I could then have a lot of financial freedom. So does anybody relate to wanting financial freedom? Can anybody relate to that one? Yeah. Because we want that freedom to choose, right? Now, for me, I had this goal, but I realized for me that I had kind of a limiting thought around this, and that was the way I was doing business. So I had a certain, like, say, I was paid an hourly rate, and at the time it was $50 hourly rate, which is a nice hourly rate to have. But it was a limiting factor for me, and I found out later that the company that I was working through was charging $100 for me. So I was working and they were making half of what I was doing. I'm like, why do I need to go through an agency? Why can't I just do it on my own? And I'm like, well, I don't know all these things. And so that was my limiting belief. Now, as soon as I went, oh, wait a second, I can do that. And I kind of changed the way I looked at it. And once I started changing the way that I looked at it, let's just say my hourly rate is even better than much better than what I had. So I currently have an hourly rate of $108. So once I got that limiting thought out of my brain, I was able to achieve what I wanted to do. So I'd like for you guys to do is I'd like you to look at what are some limiting factors for you, and what are things that you could do to maybe release those thoughts or change those thoughts. And one of the most powerful ways that I know how to do this, by the way, is using an affirmation. So for me, I do stand-up comedy, and I have a few affirmations around it. So one of the things I'm like, I'm a comedic rock star. So that's the voice I have in my head, and it helps me to get on stage. So when I'm on stage, I'm like, I'm a comedic rock star. I totally am. And then when I go on stage, I have that affirmation. So I'm going to suggest you to look around the thing that you want. I want you to look at that and develop an affirmation around that. So I am is a key word in that. So you would say, I am strong, fit. I am feeling joy. If you put a feeling piece into it, that's another thing that's really good. So I'd like you to look at some of the things where maybe there's resistance. Look at those, unpack it for yourself, and decide what would I prefer, and to put an affirmation around that. So thank you for listening to me, and the principle for releasing the brakes. So release the brakes for yourself, take off that emergency brake, and start zooming forward at the goals you want.
Nice. That was 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You got any more you want to share?
Oh, it was only 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I had it down. I was timing myself. I was down to that one. No,
that's all right.
Well, it's kind of a good exercise to have to pick something off the fly. For me, yeah. it felt like a really good exercise to do. So unpack it for me, Brian. My brother. Give me it.
Yeah. I'm just all right. My brain is not functioning here today.
All right, should we let Matt go first then?
Yeah, no, Chris, you did an excellent job. You obviously know the principle well. I think you did way better than I would have done it there. I like the whole like what's limiting you. I think you did a really good job of point, story, point too. You just said what's holding you back, what's slowing you down, what's that emergency brake in your life. You're good on stage. Obviously, you got us right involved. Who wants a better life? Who wants financial freedom? I liked all that. I like that you were pretty honest in sharing about your money situation. So that was good. I mean, that was a really good story about the $50 and $100. It's kind of like, I think most people would think that, I got to go through my agency, or my boss has to pay me a certain amount of money, or I'm only worth $50 an hour. So I thought that was really good. And then you really I thought you brought it home with the affirmations. Because I like that you said, listen, we all release the brakes. Here's how you're going to get over it. Or here's one way you can start getting over it. So I really like that. I'm not sure I would have thought to bring up something on how to change it. So that was really good. And then you explained the affirmations too, which were really good. Considering we were doing only 5 minutes and you had a little more time, you probably could have drugged that part out, a little longer if you wanted, and help people do affirmations. But other than that, for the quick 5-minute thing, that was awesome. Good job.
And thanks, Will. I think I could unpack that one a little more, but I was trying to be very conscious of the time. I had started my timer maybe a little earlier than you did. So I was getting it through. I think that's true. I mean, plus it's off the fly, so I think we're sped up anyway, because we're like, okay, what's he gonna say? Oh, release the brakes, and then you do, but yeah, it was awesome. It was a good job, man. Okay, thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. Now, question, I want to make sure we also hit the connection. Did you feel like I connected with you in that 5 minutes?
Yes, for me.
Okay. Well, I would like something a little more interaction is what would work better for me. Mm-hmm. Something that got me involved with it. Even if it's just that short, ask me something, ask the audience something, show of hands, who's been in this, something that just connects me
into it engages on a point that I can relate to or not relate to.
Okay. Well, I thought I did that. I thought I had, how many people, or I just didn't say raise your hand.
Yeah, he said that about the financial freedom.
Well, and that's some of those things that you ask that question is, show of hands and look at it and get everybody involved in something. Show of hands, how many people want, financial freedom? How many people, show of hands, don't want? Show of hands, how many people are never going to raise their hands? I don't know, something to just, make sure they're awake.
How many people would like a gold bar? Let's just.
And it's perfect because I feel a little brain dead today. After last night, I feel a little emotionally exhausted. So it's I feel like I'm a good feedback source from my mind is elsewhere. Can you even capture my attention? Yeah. Type of thing. You might have to literally take me and shake me, Brian, and it maybe, can you relate to this? I that's the experience that sometimes I need if I'm not there. And I have this a lot with the agents in my office who are not there emotionally or mentally half the time. So
yeah, that was a really good point, Brian, because I noticed you didn't raise your hand. Who wants financial freedom? It's like you were like, I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
So Brian, you don't want financial freedom?
Then you got to point that out.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good point. That's a good point. I could have said, okay, so Brian doesn't want financial freedom. He wishes to be a slave to the man.
I mean, I don't have to take a lot of time with it, but enough that I bring it up, No,
it's a good point. We call it in stand-up comedy being in the room. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So look, guys, I appreciate it because I think this is a good experiment. If people drop out, just here you're going to talk on a point.
Yeah, good job, man.
It kind of gets your juices flowing, and who knows, out of an improvisational moment, you might come out with something like, "Wow, that wasn't a bad story," All right, Brian, are you feeling ready? Are you ready?
Wait, what am I doing now?
Same thing Chris just did.
Our friend Matt is going to give you a principle.
Okay, which principle are you giving me?
All right. Hey, give him one that's going to wake him up. Apparently, he's distracted.
I'm just gotta refresh my memory.
How about Brian leads us in an energizer?
I'm not wearing any pants.
Nice.
Turn off the record, Chris.
Three guys. We all know the same energizer.
Oh, I did this. I did this energizer. I did the clap, jump, twist energizer.
Oh, did you?
On Tuesday, I was going through basically I want everybody to set a goal, and we're just going around there. What's your goal? What's your goal? Just give me a goal that you wrote down. And just about halfway through the room, I wanted to go much quicker, and they were way overthinking it. And I'm like, all right, we got to stop here. And what I was going to do is have them pair up and tell each other the goals. But they were overthinking it. They were getting really nervous. It was a really awkward for some people. Said, okay, everybody put your stuff down. Everybody stand up. Everybody find the closest person to you and partner up with them. And I did that, and they're jumping around. They're like, what, you want us to do what? And they did it. And by the time they were done with the energizer, they were laughing. They were like, why the heck did we do that? I'm like, you're laughing, right? He goes, yeah, that's why. It's you guys, we got way too serious, and I needed to lighten this thing up. So now you got a new partner. Sit down with your partner, and this is what we're going to do next. Yeah. I kind of skipped a little bit of sharing the goals and went to the next thing because I was losing them. And I knew
That's
it.
Good.
I knew
That's
it.
Good.
I just rattled them up, and I had everybody's attention at any given point. And that's the time I felt like I just was getting too serious. They just weren't getting it enough, or if they were digesting it way too long. Like, everybody up, let's go.
No, well, nice. That's a good. So apparently, Brian's 5-minute was on the power of energizers.
Yeah, right.
So give us an application, please, of how to use energizers for us.
An application.
So you had a point. Energizers are good. You had
I didn't know where I was actually going. All right.
We'll just call that one yours since you're feeling kind of brain dead. I thought the story was great, man.
Well, I mean, what's the actual point? What's a an energizer is not exactly a principle. That's what I'm trying to.
No, so the principle I would say is, as keynote speakers, the point is you have to be in the room. So maybe it wasn't germane to. So I would say your point was you have to be aware of what's going on with your audience.
My point, I'll make one up off that. My point is, when speaking to audiences for long periods of time, you may lose their attention on things. You may be right on the point of what you want to accomplish, but they're not there yet. And my audience was not there. They were either thinking too hard about it, didn't know, is this a right answer? Is this a wrong answer? It's your goals, not my goals. It's your goals. There is no right or wrong. This is great. And getting somebody stumped on some things can be a great thing for everybody to learn off of. But when more people than not are getting stumped, we need to shake this thing up. We need to keep their attention going. I got 4 hours with these people is the time frame I had on Tuesday. I got to keep their attention, got to keep their energy up. And as soon as I saw them drifting off, as soon as I saw them just, I don't know what this is. Let's just take it all off the table. Let's just do something silly here. And totally changed the mood. Totally changed it. Got them going on, after that, they're jumping around, they're laughing, they're making so much noise. It was fantastic. And the end point of this is real simple. If you don't get any message, if you don't get your message across, what's the point? And I had multiple messages, and I just need to get one clear message across to them. If they can't get that, what's the point? So sometimes you have to rattle things up, and that's what I did. And it was fun.
That's cool. Hey, this is a good learning thing. How far along in your presentation were you, like out of the 4 hours?
Well, I took 2 breaks. That one was probably right dead in the middle of things.
Okay.
Because I did the passion test with them. Okay. I was trying to break that into new visualizations of this and take their passions and visualize living their passions to the fullest. And then I was taking that, I said, make one goal out of each of those passions. Just what's one goal? We talked about a little bit of goal setting type of stuff. I didn't want to get super, super deep. What I want to do is turn it into a breakthrough goal and action steps, and they weren't going that way at all. They were not going with me. So I went a different direction. I had them write down the goals, but then I went into the last hour was about feedback because they were not receiving my feedback from that. Had a lot of fun with that because they wrote down their goals, and after their goals, I did the visualization exercise. Then I wanted to visualize their passions, broke down it into just a goal for each. Just write down a goal for each. This type of goal. This. They did. They were sharing it. They got stumped. I rattled them up with an energizer. Went back to it. I said, all right, now I want you to partner up with people, and I want you to do an I want list. One person is going to write down what the other person says, and the person who's writing, all they're going to ask is one thing: what do you want? And I just went through a whole thing of that back and forth because I had them in vision mode, so I thought I could keep them just getting it on a list. And then took a break, and we went back, and I did a lot of feedback stuff. I did the crayon stuff. Oh my God, that was great. That was so much fun. I mean, these are agents. A lot of these were agents and their family, and they don't follow simple directions. They try to make it more complex than it is. So I keep repeating myself. Remove 8 crayons to form 2 squares that do not touch. This can be solved in 24 seconds with feedback. This is how you can get feedback. Do not look at your crayons yet. I'm going to repeat this. And I kept repeating it the whole time. Nobody did it in 24 seconds. Only one person finally got it. And then they didn't quite understand how to help other people, even though I kept repeating it. To give feedback, you do this, you do not do this. That's it. If you want feedback, raise your hand. It was so funny, and the most stubborn of people. It was fantastic, and I went into the other feed, the on-course, off-course thing. With whoever was the most stubborn on that crayon exercise, I used her as my on-course, off-course person. So had a lot of fun. And my point for the whole thing, I said, if you can take one thing away from this 4 hours, it would be this. Take 8 crayons out to form 2 squares. This can be solved in 24 seconds with feedback. And they were dying. They were dying. So, and I gave out a bunch of free stuff. I gave out books to people who didn't have books. I brought the 100 grand candy bars. Hey, you want 100 grand? For something. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. It was one of those things. I think I gave out some other stuff too, but it was just I had fun with it.
Well,
that's cool.
It's time up. Look, Brian. So when you start talking, I saw you wake up. Like it almost like your mood totally changed. Right? You went into, I'm not, and you seemed really excited. I thought it was great. You were laughing, you were smiling. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you do these principles on stage. But when you're like that, you pull people in.
Yeah.
When you're like that, I was engaged. I think you, not without putting words in your head, but I get this way. When I get in my thing, I'm like, okay, let me analyze this. I get in my analytical mode, and you want to make sure on stage you're not in analytical mode. And if that's the way you're on stage, man, then that's going to engage people. So I'm assuming that went really, really well for you, that talk.
Yeah, it was not. I actually like the first one I did about a month or so ago better. I got better feedback on the second one. And I just was more myself, I think, on the second one. And I was kind of leery about that. But I was trying to make points on certain things. And one woman said, I said, would you do it for 100 grand? Would you change for 100 grand? Whatever she wanted, whatever it was. She's like, no, I wouldn't, because I had a 100 grand candy bar in my hand. Would you do it for $1 million? She goes, no. I said, $10 million. No. I said, all right. I walked out in the middle of everybody. And I had my finger up to this guy's head. I said, this is your family member. I'm going to shoot your family member. Would you do this? And everybody's like, what is he doing? And she goes, oh my God, I would do it. And I said, that's my point. And I said, I'm sorry, Rick. I almost had to shoot you. They were dying. I was just getting into it. And I maybe I took it too far on something. But on the other side, somebody said, she had no idea who she was challenging, did she? Because I was just gonna have fun with it. I wasn't just proving a point. For me, it was to have fun with it because this person in particular has such limiting beliefs. So
nice, cool.
I think pressing the envelope is never bad, but that's me. So Matt, what did you think when he was going through his talk? What did you think?
Yeah, absolutely the same thing. You came alive, man. You came alive because maybe it's that coffee's kicking in finally. No, it was really good. I liked listening to your story. I was engaged with it, man. You definitely connected because of your energy level. So, and then you made some good points at the end about how the energizers work and keeping your audience going with you. So that was a good Brian to see, Brian.
That was just kind of how I talk. I didn't really.
Well, that's good, man. Start off by kissing your dog on stage, and then you just get right into it. Yeah. Make sure you got the right end facing you, though.
I guess I thought so. We got about 5 minutes left here. I wanted to say I really thought this went well. I think if a speaker does cancel, we should do this as the filler activity in general. Let the other speakers go. For maybe if there was another person on the call, one person was out, there's 5 of us, you get 4 minutes, instead of 5. So it's really just getting you improvising these points and getting you used to just saying, I can do this bad boy on the fly. I'm so comfortable with it. You want me to talk about visualization? I'm right here for you. Let me talk to you about it. Like, I mean, it's just to that point where you're so comfortable with the content that, you know, you can talk about anything and get into that, get to connect, make your point story, you know, point story application, no matter what time people give you. And that's, I think this was a good experiment. So I'm going to kind of add this as to kind of our, okay, if somebody happens to cancel, this is what's going to happen. Right.
Yeah. I think it's good. I liked it.
You know, it's almost out of Toastmasters. Toastmasters does these kind of things.
Yeah.
So I think it's
table topics.
But you don't necessarily get the feedback immediately, which I think is a value add for us because, you know, they have 30 people in the room. So I think this is an additional value add. All right. I'm good. Who's for next week? I believe. I don't know if I have it off the top of my head, but Well,
who went last week? You, Chris? You went last week?
I think it's Brian. Is it you and Joanna's next week? I think. Yes.
I think so, but I don't know where Rod fits into that.
He would go the following week then. So
All right.
missed out. We'll let him go the following week.
Chris, are you and I the only ones that have gone twice?
I think so. Well, it's because we started.
Okay.
That's right. So it would be Brian, Joanna, and then I think we should have Rod. And then when Rod goes, I would suggest that everybody goes through this piece. So it would be Rod and prepare. We're going to give you 3 minutes. Everybody else gets a 3-minute. We're going to give you a principle, point, story, application. You got 3 minutes to go, and then the feedback.
Shit, I better read the book.
Yeah, I bought so many books. They're all over the house.
I'm going to pick some of your. Not words in public. Jack Canfield, page 173,000. Go.
Yeah.
I used the book in the presentation on some things too. I mean, I had the Train the Trainer book all open the whole time.
Yeah.
I had different outlines for the exercises all in front of me, and you know, I wasn't doing a full speech of I'm standing and this and you know getting and here's my slide. And I just sat down.
Mm-hmm.
I just sat down at a high top table with a computer screen because the computer screen on the other wall was too distracting. And I, for most of the speech, most of the presentation just sat down. I was higher than everybody else. It was a high top chair. And it was just, I just took it as that, just a comfortable, relaxed thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's very Jack Canfield-like, you know. He does that same thing. So.
He's 75 too, I think, so.
I can't stand for 4 hours. It actually hurts my back. So I'm like,
oh, I know.
Oh, no, I'm on my feet speaker. It is a challenge for me to sit.
You know what? Next time I do this, I'm gonna have to stand. I gotta figure that out. I'm the same way. That probably adds to my whatever sitting here.
Yeah, but I'm physical. You know, I like doing I like doing the.
Really, I never noticed, Chris.
What the fucker? All right, fellas. I thought this was good. I'll confirm for next week. It's Brian, Joanna, and then the following week we'll put down Rod, and since I'll say 3-minute impromptu for everybody else, and then everybody will have gone twice.
Yeah. Cool.
Speech.
All right, sounds good to me, guys.
All right.
All right.
I will post this on. I'll do what I normally do. So I'll post this on YouTube and send you guys the link, and then I'll set up the schedule for next week.
All right. Appreciate the help. You guys have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Brian. Congratulations, man. I know that's celebrate the victory and understand it's just a stepping stone to the next thing. So
that's right. Fun journey.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.